sandbagging, which is at the end of the month, they've got 5 people that they could book for an intro or for an appointment, and they save them for the next month. No, you have this situation where if they get to certain zones, they'll make more per lead they have come in, and that motivates them to do as much as they can every single month. Okay, so we're ready for step 4 now. The information is going to get quite detailed, and I'm going to go a little bit faster, so please try to keep up. This is probably the most important part of the webinar, is from this point forth, all right? So here we go. Sales pipeline. Okay, what is the definition of that? It's your sales process. It's the layers that represent the steps you take, a lead from first contact through to enrollment. The short-term pipeline leads. These are the leads that are the go-getter parents or youth, okay? They've decided that martial arts is what they want to get involved with, and they are trying to make a decision in the next few weeks. So they already know they want to do this, they just don't know who with. During the first contact with one of these kinds of leads, and yes, you won't know what kind of lead they are until later, but during first contact, we assume all leads are in the short term at first. The first thing we have to do is learn as much as we can about them. Gear everything around making sure that they know your #1 priority is understanding them and their needs. And it's worthwhile to look through your marketing material, all of it. And does it ask any questions? Does it make them feel like you're concerned about making sure, you know, that you're aware of all their needs and that you're going to satisfy those? So does it communicate in any way you understand what it is like to try and choose lessons? And you are there to help them through the process rather than, well, we offer this, this, and this is this. No. Does it ask questions like, are you unsure of where you might want to train? Are you unsure of what martial arts is best for you? Great note to tease. You have to show some form of, I'm not sure I'd say empathy, but you have to relate to them. If you don't speak their language, if you don't show that you understand what it's like to be in their shoes, you're not going to relate with them. And as we know, connections are the key right now to sales. What about the way your phone calls are being conducted? Is the person just doing everything they can to rush the person in? Or are they taking that 5 minutes at the beginning of the call to do what we call bonding and rapport? You know, finding out some kind of common interest or just listening, just asking some questions and listening. People love to talk about themselves. People love even more to talk about their children. So let them talk and write down all those clues. What about your auto-spawner to web leads? What I mean by this is I fill out some information on your website. Yeah, you know, I'm interested in trying a lesson. Okay. And then the auto-spawner just says, thank you. You've chosen the best blah, blah, blah school forever. And we do what's called a show up and throw up, where all you do is essentially communicate about yourself. I don't care about you. I really don't. I'll decide if I care about you when I meet you. But while I'm deciding to come down to your school, please tell me you care about me. Does that auto-responder to me say anything that makes me feel more comfortable about you? Does it show that you show care for the types of concerns I might be experiencing when I'm considering coming down to your school? Okay, so we've done all that. Now we have to learn as much as we can about how they landed on us. These are the kinds of leads we want, right? They're contacting us. They're the ones making decisions. So let's determine how we got this one and understand it's a clue to getting more of them. Some people say, well, I'm getting a lot of them already. Great. Which ones cost you the most? Which ones cost you the least? You can never know enough about why people are landing on you. Find out why, find out how much it costs you, and always reevaluate. It's an ongoing process. It never ends. If you figure that out immediately and determine how you can further optimize the journey and show these all leads, okay, I just said that. All right. Next, try to book the appointment. Now, we understand that it would be a completely different webinar topic to discuss the strategies around how to book an appointment. So I'm not going to go through, here's the best script to use. That's not the purpose of this webinar. We're managing leads, okay? But after we've communicated that we're concerned about their needs and we understand what their needs are, we then make sure we know everything about them and how they landed on us. Okay, we do those 2 steps. Next, we book the appointment. We go for it. You have to have email templates, and what I mean by templates is pre-written emails that you customize just a little bit, and they're ready for both scenarios. Either you booked the lesson on that first call, first conversation, or first email exchange, or you didn't. Doesn't matter. You need an email template ready to go for both situations. You have to send the respective template depending on the outcome, and you have to make this easy and idiot-proof. It has to always happen. So make it the easiest thing possible that could be a task in your school is to send this template. All right? Make it so idea-proof that nobody has any excuse not to do it. Quick recommendations for you did book an intro template, okay? The one we didn't book it, yeah, just summarize the information. I'm sure we can come up with a general canned message. But when we're talking about the people who did book an email template, sorry, did book the lesson with you, here is the email template recommendations I have, just a formula for it, things that should be in it. One thing I think should be in it, if you're in a one-man show, the email should be from the school, okay? If not, then make sure it's from someone other than the person that will be teaching the lesson. All I'm saying is this. Whoever will be doing the intro lesson, the appointment, the group class, whatever it is that is the first interaction when the lead walks through the door, whoever is responsible for being your school's ambassador, don't make the email come from them. It has to be from someone else. Why? We want to provide a little background on that person that will be taking them through the appointment. After we've talked about assessing all their needs and all that, let's create a little bit of star power and make them excited to meet us. Also, please, I'm begging you, provide a section called Tips for Your First Visit. If you bow in your school, put in something about why we bow. A link is a great thing to do. A link to an article on why people bow. You might not see this because you've been a martial artist for a long time, but it's weird when you walk into a building for the first time and see people bowing when they're walking by each other. In my school, we say, "Us." I watch leads walk in, and they're uncomfortable from the very first second as they're walking through the door because the person in front of them bowed and shouted, "Us," as they walked through the door. And they're looking at them like, okay, well, am I supposed to do that? Like, I already feel like I'm kind of on the outside. Let's eliminate that kind of cult feeling and tell them why we do it. They might do it, they might not, but at least they understand it. And that's really big for removing some of the uncomfortable feelings they might have. Okay, parking. Make it easy for them to get there. Make sure you address common misconceptions. You might not have any, but if there's any misconceptions about the style that you teach or about your school, in a kind of indirect way, educate them in a manner that if they had that misconception, it would be solved. And again, if you could provide this as a link to a page on your website that does that, even better. FAQ. Same thing kind of as misconceptions, but just frequently asked questions. So what should I wear? What's the lesson like? Create comfort. The idea is this. They should think in their brain, wow, these guys are really going above and beyond to take care of me, and I haven't even signed up yet. Do that. Make them feel that way. Watch what happens. Okay, we already talked about driving directions. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Provide driving directions and public transport directions. There's nothing more annoying than just getting that Google map. Okay, great. Thanks so much. But what bus do I take to get there? Right? Don't alienate the people who don't buy cars. Also, make sure you end with a quick note about rescheduling is completely fine, but please provide us notice. And I like to leverage it. I like to say, hey, we commonly have a wait list for our peak lesson times. So if you can't make it, please let us know. Help them feel like there's a value associated. You reserve time for them that other people want. So if they can't make it, at least have the courtesy of letting us know. Chances are if they're thinking of missing it and they see something like wait list, they might consider coming. All right. After you have gone along and booked the intro, you've sent the autoresponder that's saying, thanks for booking the lesson, here's all the information, that's all done. You have to confirm every single appointment. I recommend the day before or the day of, depending on when they contacted you, right? If they're an evening person, contact them in the evening. If they called you in the morning, contact them in the morning. But either way, please confirm every single appointment. And I say here, don't forget the with them. What that means is what's in it for me. When you confirm in the appointment, you have to, one more time, make sure they understand what's in it for them to show up. All right? We're still selling an appointment to them. Yes, it might not cost anything, but it does cost their time. And we have to sell them on what's in it for them. So please make sure you're doing that. Just a quick little spiel. Okay, so your appointment's today at 4 p.m. And I want to let you know we do have that medium shirt put aside for you. Sensei Rick, who's been training in the martial arts for 18 years, blah, 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 blah. He's excited to meet you. And on top of that, this and this and this. Just make sure they know that there's a value associated with coming down. Make sure they know what's in it for them. Okay. After the appointment, so we're assuming they've shown up. After the appointment, jot down all important details before they get home. Okay? The reason why I say before they get home is just to give you a gauge of how long you should really wait. You want to do it immediately if you can. I understand after an appointment you might walk by your lobby, and every time you walk by your lobby you got to add 15 minutes to your day because everybody wants to talk to you. I get that.